of Summit. But this is going to be focusing on the aggressive or yeah, more aggressive game plan or approach. So again, left will be pretty much the same as far as where it's at. It's going to be down the pathway here. However, we're going to be pushing farther up depending on how we're playing. There's actually going to be two ways to play left. There's going to be aggressive left, which is anywhere you can play up here to actually prevent the other team from getting up the stairs and into the center building to this doorway. So however you're doing it doesn't really matter as long as you're keeping them from coming up the stairs and entering here. Then you're going to be playing aggressive left. If you're defensive, it means you can't see if people are getting there or not. So for instance, right here would be an aggressive left because I can see anybody coming down the bridge there, and anybody that makes their way up top I can see. Again, I found this angle earlier. I feel like this is going to be a really good angle because you can see anybody that comes across the bridge you're going to see here. If they try to come out a little wide, you're going to see them there. And then they can be up in this building as well. Looks like one building. And then they're able to jump down to the bridge there. You're going to be able to see anybody doing that very easily from this spot. Plus you're kind of head glitching, so just all around, this is going to be a good spot. Again, and this would be holding it aggressive. You can also play up here. This player will be Rune, by the way, just so he can do moves like that and easily get back and forth around the map. But again, he can kind of hold this aggressively up here as well. You can see anybody coming around the corner, anybody that jumps across, he can hit there. This is going to be, you're just going to have to get creative with it over here. It's going to be a good spot. It'll just kind of be how you want to play it, really. So another thing that you can do over here is, well, I'll kind of go over that in a second here. So that would be the left player. If you're being defensive, pretty much that would mean you're playing it far enough back where you can't see that staircase. So like back here, if I'm playing back here somewhere, let's say back here behind the rock or something, obviously I can't see around the corner there. I can't see if anybody's getting into the center. So at this point I would be considered defensive left. That's just important to know. That way, if you're that left player, you got to call out if you're aggressive or defensive. That way the guys in the center of the map know how to react to your positioning pretty much. The Overwatch player will be inside the building usually, and just like on any other maps that we have in Overwatch, he's going to be like an immediate fill player. He's going to help where needed, and then he's going to fill where players go down. So that player will also be Rune, and in the beginning of the game he's just going to come across here, shoot across up top to the balcony up here, the walkway, and most of the game he's going to be playing up here somewhere. From this position I can, if I have to fill left and cover for left, I can do that. I can cover for the center player who will be covering this doorway. If the right goes down, I could even turn around and keep players from getting into the building behind us, and at least force them to the the wide outside portion of the map on the right. Or if our top center player, top building player goes down, who's covering the doorway up here, this entrance. If he goes down, I can also see that from those walkways as well. So that player is going to be probably one of the officers, somebody that has a good understanding of the map, and will be able to react quickly and fill in where needed. If players aren't down, hopefully players aren't down that much, and if they aren't, he's just going to help where needed. So most likely that would be on the left side, since really it could be a two-man job. Is it manageable with one? Yes, but two would be nice. So I found this spot. You can kind of just come out here, hug the wall, and now you can see down the bridge here. So if you want to have the other left player, or let's say the primary left player, focusing more on the one building where they jump across, he can do that, and then I can focus on more, or the Overwatch player here can focus more on the bridge. Lots of ways you can do it. I mean, you could even have him alright, well hopefully you don't have to do that game, but you could even have him play up top there, and kind of just go back and forth. Since he's playing his Rune, he's going to have the ability to go back and forth really easily. So that would be the Overwatch position. So that's one left player, that's Overwatch. We then would have a center player, or a bottom center player, who he's responsible for covering this doorway. Lots of different ways you can do this. This is should be pretty simple. It's going to be hot, but it should be pretty simple to do. I mean, you can play it from anywhere from up here, letting them turn the corner, to right here, shooting them, you know, again, crumbling around the corner, but you can also see a little bit into their side. You could pull back a little bit farther, and you kind of have a similar angle right here. Again, you're only going to be able to play some of these depending on if we're aggressive on the left or not, because obviously if we're pulled back defensive, I can't really, you know, I can't play this spot, for instance. I can't be sitting there. He's going to come up and shoot me, obviously. I could be playing right here, maybe, if I want to be a little risky, knowing that somebody will be shooting that doorway, but as long as I'm not exposing myself, then I should be okay. We also have some good angles back here. You can jump up here, pretty much anywhere on this, these consoles here, and you can shoot right over, you know, and have some nice spots where you're pretty much head glitching the whole time. And then you can even play a little farther back. You can play back here on top of the tables. Looks like the computer's back here. Another good angle, as well as just kind of playing up top. I mean, nothing wrong with this either. You know, if you can just switch it up. So that would be the bottom center player. The top center player would just be covering this doorway here. So not as many, you know, cube angles to cover it, but there are a couple. Obviously, you kind of have a straight up, just take them out when they come around the doorway. This is also pretty nice, standing on top of whatever this is, these full file cabinets, and then, you know, similar angle, kind of straight at it. You can even come out here, you know, maybe lay down, pick them off when they come around the corner. You have to get a little creative in here. It's not a lot of cute spots. It's more just straight up heads up gunfighting. You got to be quick, or you know, quicker than your opponent on pulling the trigger, really. But if you do, you know, you can pull back here maybe and play it like this. So there are ways you can vary it up. You can even come up a little more aggressive after a while. Be careful not to expose yourself over here, but if you want to come out here and, you know, just get a quick kill or two, not a bad thing, and then pull back. This would end up being one of the Torgue players when we're doing this for sure. That way, well, I'm not playing as Torgue, but if I had my shield, I would throw this, you know, throw it up right here, and I can just microwave everybody that comes up, and I can essentially make this a non-playable, you know, entrance for the opposing team, and I wouldn't even have to really play it. So, so that would be top center. So that's one left player, Overwatch player, a top and a bottom center player, and that leaves us 2 players for the right. Since we're holding the building now with this aggressive game plan, this makes the right side a little bit easier, really, because now we don't need to worry about anybody coming from here, and we can push up a little farther. We can have people playing up as far as here and just cutting off the right entirely. I would suggest it's basically going to end up being a front and a back right player, and I would have the front right player play as Torque, more than likely. Either that or Nomad, but Torque would probably be better. And then when you get your equipment, you could actually just set the shield up right here, which, you know, I'll just switch it here. Hopefully I'm not too far away. But you could just set up the shield and just kind of cut off that right side, or play behind it, and then have that back right player still backing you up as well. So right side will definitely be easier the more aggressive we play. Lots of different ways you can do it. You can cut it off at 90s like this, or you can pull back a little farther. This spot, again, becomes pretty good. If you want to have them kind of play here, one player playing the bridge there. You can even have a player up here then. If you stand up and then kind of walk this way, you can see this whole doorway. They should not be able to get up top, because that entrance is covered by top center. They might grapple, there's ways they can get up there, but more than likely the player's going to see them and react and take them out. But this would still be a solid spot as well, even playing aggressively, because you could still see across that bridge pretty effectively, and then you would have your front right player focus more on this entrance. So that is pretty much everything on this side. Obviously this is still a draft, and we'll have to play it a couple times and work on it, and then I'm sure we'll revise it a little bit, but I think it's a solid game plan to start with. So again, just kind of the big things on it would be if you're playing left, you need to emphasize whether you're aggressive or defensive so that we know how to react in the building. If you're defensive on the left, basically what happens is we need to have the Overwatch guy more focused on that doorway, that left doorway, and then I mean that's really it. But we need to know that you're defensive. We need to know that they have the capability of getting up there. It doesn't change anything else other than this, the bottom center player where you can play, like I talked about earlier. There will maybe be a few spots or a few less spots that you can actually play. So that should be it. Next video should be bottom spawn. I'm going to go over defensive and offensive positioning